So about 2 years ago, I bought my third camera, the Sony A6500. And since then, I've gone on to buy about 5 other cameras and borrowed a few other cameras as well, such as the Sony A7 II, the Sony A7 III, the Nikon Z6, the Panasonic G9, the Canon EOS RP, and so on and so forth. But none of those cameras has ever led me to consider using it over the Sony A6500 until now. What's up guys, Charles from TreeTanksDev. In this video we'll be checking out the Nikon Z50. So if you are new to this channel, I do camera reviews, camera equipment reviews, and as well as gimbals. So if these are the things that interest you, please consider subscribing. So during the weekend I spent 2 whole days with the Nikon Z50 and pretty much I'm absolutely in love with it currently. It's been a really nice camera to use, and I'm even considering using this now over the Sony A6500. So if you don't know the story why I actually bought the Nikon Z50, is because when I borrowed the Nikon Z6 a few months ago, I absolutely hated it. And the Nikon Z6 is actually the 2019 camera of the year. I didn't like the exposure compensation in the videos, the color science was absolutely terrible, and that autofocus system is really bad. So I actually hated the Nikon Z6, but I couldn't wrap my head around on why or how it won the camera of the year. So I thought I must be using it all wrong. So I decided to go out and get the Nikon Z50, the cheaper APS-C version of the Nikon Z6. So I actually did a comparison on one of the days as well against my favorite camera, the Sony A6500, because they are pretty much really similar in size and weight and stuff. But if you're wondering why I'll be comparing a 2-month-old camera versus a 3-year-old camera, basically the reason is quite simple in terms of pricing. The Sony A6500 right now, if you were to go out and buy it, is still about $400 to $500 more expensive than this Nikon Z50. So basically, to me, in terms of the whole Sony mirrorless camera range in the APS-Cs, the Sony A6500 is still really highly regarded as one of their higher end cameras, because the newer cameras such as the A6400 and the A6100 are all still cheaper than the A6500. So basically that's what I thought would be a fair review. So I've been absolutely loving the Nikon Z50. I'm going to show you some video, pictures, and samples as well, and let you decide which of these cameras are actually better. So here's a short summary on why the Nikon Z50 is actually better than the A6500 to me so far. Firstly, it has a faster processor, it has a bigger and larger grip, so it's more comfortable in the hand and easier to carry around. The LCD screen is a higher resolution and bigger than the A6500's LCD screen as well. The viewfinder is bigger and sharper as well, and battery life is better. In terms of the video and picture quality, one thing I absolutely love about the Nikon Z50 is a picture profile which they have, which is easily accessible, called the flat picture profile. So I do color grade all my videos, so having that flat picture profile at the tip of my fingers has been really useful, and it's been really great looking. It's really nice. You have to check out the flat picture profile, and after I do the color grading as well as compared to the Sony A6500. So the video and picture qualities has been really good, and the autofocus system is actually pretty good as well. After using the Nikon Z6, the autofocus system was really bad. I don't know why, I still can't wrap my head around it, but this autofocus system on the Nikon Z50 is absolutely great. Better probably than the Panasonic G9, but in terms of the comparison with the A6500, I think the autofocus system does kind of match up. I'll leave that to you to decide. So I'm talking too much, so let's get straight to the video. What's up guys, Charles from TreeTanksDev. I'm at the park right now with my new camera, the Nikon Z50. So we're just going to do some tests on this 2019 released APS-C camera with the Z mount. This is Nikon's latest camera on the market. We're going to just do some comparison tests between the Sony A6500, which is a 3-year-old camera. So how will this Nikon Z50 perform against a 3-year-old camera? I am pretty interested to know. So far it's been pretty nice, the grip and everything. It is pretty similar to the Sony A6500, but we'll see in terms of performance, video and autofocus which one is better. So let's get straight to the challenge. Testing out the face detection. It even detects the face when he is away from the camera, so it's like a head detection rather than a face detection. The viewfinder is pretty alright. It's very nice. One thing that did annoy me is that you need to keep flipping the switch in between photos and videos. Yep, so one thing that this Nikon Z50 does not have is in-body image stabilization, which is kind of a shame. They do have the EIS though. I'm not so sure how the EIS will work. I did test it out just now. We're going to put it to the computer and see whether or not it's better than the A6500. The A6500 does have IBIS and the LensDev does have OIS. But we all know that the 5 stops of IBIS on the Sony A6500 isn't really very strong. It's pretty alright. So we're just going to see whether the IBIS or this EIS is better between the two cameras. Walking on the grass handheld, the Sony A6500 on the left and the Nikon Z50 on the right. Walking on the grass handheld, the Sony A6500 on the left and the Nikon Z50 on the right. Is it wet? Which one has the better stabilization? Is it wet? Which one has the better stabilization? On the A6500 in S-Cam and S-Log 2. Second on the A6500 in S-Cam and S-Log 2. And you go slowly. Slowly. Shooting at 1080p 120 frames per second in flat profile. And you go slowly. Slowly. Shooting at 1080p 120 frames per second in flat profile. So we're gonna test out the continuous burst mode, continuous high extended mode. Tristan, come here. Tristan. So far I've been shooting on this for a few hours right now, and I still got about 3/4 battery life on this Nikon Z50. Thanks guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed that comparison between the Nikon Z50 and the Sony A6500 and the Nikon Z50 review as well. I'm really looking forward to hearing your comments on which of these has the better video and pictures. For me personally, the video and picture quality on the Nikon Z6 with the flat picture profile is absolutely brilliant, and I seriously might consider using this from now on over the Sony A6500. So looking forward to hearing from you guys. Next video, I'll be starting my tutorials on the Fadetech AK2000S, the latest gimbal in the market right now. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.